Okay, so I'm not gonna belabor the point here, but this video is not gonna be super long, but it should be kind of profounding because this is one of the things I don't see tons of marketers talk about, and it can absolutely ruin their momentum with their clients, with their business, and maybe even if their employee with the company they're working at, all because they're neglecting this one thing, which is absolutely kind of fundamental you should do as a marketer. And yeah, I just don't think it's talked about enough. I think it's overlooked, and I see it from time to time from just not even just with like clients myself. I haven't really seen it. I ran my own social medias and absolutely ran my own online business and it absolutely crumbled what I did, and I had to start all the way back to zero. So, what am I talking about? What is the concept, and what do you need to know to kind of take away from this? And the first thing is, are you a single leg stool or a chair? What do I mean by this? Well, there's a concept or there's an idea that you look at your social medias and you think, okay, where am I most of my traffic pulling from? Is it YouTube? Is it X? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it a collection of these? If it's one specifically, like what is your traffic source? It doesn't have to be the social medias, it could also be ads. And I want to take you on an idea, thought process here of what's to say it got banned like the next day, completely gone. What would happen to you then? What would happen to your income? And this should be a worrying thought and something that you should kind of actually think about consistently. Because let's think about this. Let's just say you produce results for your client extremely well on YouTube, and maybe they're touching on topics that are maybe not mainstream. Well, these people really gotta be careful because if YouTube's their main source for driving maybe viewers and maybe driving signups or whatever they do to the website, and YouTube gets knocked down for whatever reason, maybe usually YouTube doesn't really give you a reason. Usually they'll kind of give you a broad description. Oh, you're not following blah blah blah, and it's like okay, that's not really giving the clarity. And then you ask them, okay, what's the reason for this? What do I need to do? And they're like, oh, just follow it. And it's like, well, gee, thanks. Right? I'm like, you're helpful, but like that's the reality of it. And so I ran a couple accounts where, especially on Instagram Meta, where they absolutely just like take them down. And I remember when I started with my one client, where when I took them their Instagram from 5K to 100 like 3K within a year and a half or a year, and I told them, hey, I do not want to connect our Instagram and our Facebook because I've had experience where when we connect them and one gets taken down, it's going to take out the other one. And we don't want like a double kind of takedown there, which is absolutely horrible to think about. Now, those are not really our main traffics, but it's still kind of authority setting when you see those Instagrams and Facebook. Our main one is YouTube, and X is decently there, but I want to kind of build it up. And so, how do you really go about this? About staying up to date on, or making sure that you're in compliance with everything. Well, the first thing you want to do is kind of read like the guidelines, the algorithms, and everything. So first, the guidelines, the terms of service. One of the best ways to probably do this is have like an AI chat all ready to go that's set up for this specifically. That's an expert in like the TOS, the terms and conditions, the community guide, everything for that social media. So then you can run your profile for it and say, hey, is there anything you would be kind of concerned about or you think could lead to our account getting closed? And so it'll put out some stuff, and you want to say play devil's advocate here because it will kind of give you that realistic, holistic view of everything. So that's the first thing. But even so, with that, the second thing is, are you using anything copyrighted? And this is a big thing because I know my one client that I'm working with, actually had a couple accounts closed. One was at like it was at around like I think 90K subscribers or something along that lines, and their account got closed and they didn't get any feedback. You want to know the reason? Well, the reason we think is because we were running with music that we didn't purchase like a business license or like an enterprise license for. And so we're using music that probably spanned like across like 9 years or maybe like 6 or like 7 years of just music that we technically didn't own. And then when Google did their typical audits, probably their yearly audits or whatever, they ran their system, they're like, wow, this is just our compliance, like a major compliance issue. They're like, instead of just trying to fix it, all the videos are like this, we're just gonna remove them. And so the second big point is make sure you are compliant with your music. That means using like some of the music sites, using stock footage that you own, like Storyblocks, using music like Artlist, Epidemic Sounds, whatever it may be. Using those, making sure you're complying that in. And then the third one is being up to date with the algorithms and what they are pushing out. So the algorithms are constantly changing. Even if there's minor changes, they can happen weekly. And so this is one of the things you want to stay on top on. And honestly, it gets a little bit difficult to juggle, especially if you are having to do it like weekly. It gets a little bit of hassle, but it's very important. Now, your question might be, how do I really stay on top of that? How do I know the changes in the algorithm so I can follow what's kind of being pushed, follow the trends, and be able to get my views and everything up and make sure I'm also in compliance? Well, the best way I have done it, and I done it actually yesterday, is go into Grok and say, hey, is there anything I need to know about the algorithm changes? I need to know about any algorithm changes that affects trends, that affects views, impressions, subscribers, watch time, anything like that. Any changes that I need to know about. Please list it for YouTube, X, and any other social medias, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Now, it will generate a whole list, and it'll tell you, okay, these are the things that have changed, and this is like this one didn't change, this one didn't change. And I'm like, okay, great, and it'll give you like a table at the end, and that's where I was like, okay, now based on these changes, and you want to ideally have like the context about what your channel does. You want to say, based on these changes, is there anything that you would adapt or pivot in our content strategy? And it'll be like, oh yeah, do this, this, and this. Now let me give you an example. There's actually one yesterday I was looking at YouTube, very interesting stuff, where it said specifically that they're switching from the old model of watch time to now they're switching over to a return rate and shares. So now instead of the historic model of, oh, you just need watch time, it's going to do great, that's all you need, because YouTubers can say, but wait, there's another thing, but wait, there's another thing, but it's just empty kind of entertainment, empty kind of air in the videos. Instead of rewarding that, they're rewarding people who return back to the videos. And so we're going to see a little bit interesting shift in how views are getting, maybe like certain videos are getting pushed. And so return viewers are the first big thing. Second thing is they're rewarding more shares. So when someone shares a link, then they are it's boosting the thing up, it's boosting the channel up, it's boosting the video up. So when we start to see that, it's going to be super interesting. Be interested to see kind of like the long-term effect on this, and if they're going to change it anytime soon. That's just more recent, this last week, so it's something to pay attention to. So that's really the top 3 things I have. Now, on the last point where I said you can put in the AI, there are specific sites like Facebook, I think Spotlight or Meta or Newsroom or something like that. Each site will probably have its own thing. Sometimes it doesn't, which it's fine. There are creators out there. There's actually news lists out there that you can follow, and even creators that you can follow. My recommendation is that's a lot to kind of scurry, try to pick and pull. And sometimes these newsletters only come out like monthly, and I'm like, okay, that's not good enough. We need something that's like real time or very close to real time. So Grok might be your friend here because it's most up to date with this stuff, because it pulls from the X feed, and it also pulls, it's like the best scraping from what I've seen, like most up to date model in the scraping. So that'd be my recommendation. Like I said, this would be a short video, and I hope you found value from this. Let me know if you did, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.